Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I'm going to talk about love, and I'm going to try really hard not to cry. So today I'm here creating this session on the day of my 7-year anniversary with my fiance. So we met in a pub on the outskirts of Leeds 7 years ago for the first time. I think it was about 2:00 in the afternoon that we met. We'd been chatting on Tinder, of all places, for a few days. I think we first messaged each other on the 1st of July. So we'd been chatting for a few days before we met. And I think both of us fell pretty quickly and pretty hard. I'm not sure if we fell in love or we fell into lust, but it was pretty passionate right from the beginning. And we had a lovely few months of it all just being really, really lovely, I guess is the word, all just being really, really nice. But then the cracks started to appear. And I think back then I would have attributed those cracks to both of us bringing our baggage into the relationship. But now I see that slightly differently. We both had a different way of thinking about life. And like all human beings, when other people do things, say things, etc. to us, we react from a place of that thinking. So often that's just how we work as human beings. We can't really connect to the world or other people other than through our thinking and how we are. So the main pattern was that I can be a little bit critical, less so now. So I would say to him I didn't like something he'd done, or I didn't like how he behaved, and he would get really upset and sometimes just storm off, sometimes threaten to leave, often say he wasn't good enough for me. That was the kind of pattern that we were in. And we both were in the process of working on ourselves. So we did a lot of focusing on trying to get rid of the stuff that was in the way, that we thought was in the way. So both of us were doing hypnotherapy, and Bruce was doing a lot of poking around in his past, which tended to just bring his horrible past more into his mind, and he would talk about it more and more, so it wasn't particularly helpful. And things got a little bit better, but really the old patterns just still kept coming up. And then a big, exciting change happened. I came across the understanding that I share with you in these sessions, and that as soon as I found it and as soon as I started my coaching journey, I pointed Bruce in that direction too, and he was really interested and started to read things and listen to things and watch things. And over the last 2.5 years, our relationship has reached the most wonderful place. And this is what I want you to understand today, is that this is how I see how that has happened. That is that we both began to take our thinking less seriously about each other, about our relationship, about everything really. So our reactions became less. We didn't take things quite so personally. We don't take things quite so personally now, which has brought a lot of ease. we both understand that when we've got an off feeling, a wound up feeling, or an upset feeling, or an angry feeling, we both now know that that's letting us know about our state of mind, not about the other person. So suddenly, in a relationship, it can really look like our well-being depends on the behavior of our loved one, our children, our parents, our boss, or the people we work with, whoever. It can really look like that our feelings and our sense of well-being comes from those other people. But that's a misunderstanding, a very unhelpful one. And so we're both now in the place where we don't believe that to be true anymore. And so it isn't true. It's the irony, really, that like it isn't true anyway. But when you start to see it isn't true, your experience of life really, really changes. So I can say something to Bruce that like, oh, this morning we've had one. So this morning we're going off today for the day. And there's some stuff to pack. In fact, we're going off in Trevor, and there's some stuff to pack. And I became aware that no packing seemed to be happening. And Bruce is off work today. And I discovered that he was upstairs working. And I said, do you think perhaps you could be packing the van now rather than working on your day off? Because there's loads to pack. The kitchen, we haven't even started on the kitchen yet, and we take a lot of food with us. So, yeah, so I am... And he just very quietly said, oh, yes, you're right. I could be packing now rather than doing what I'm doing, which is working on my day off. And he took it really well, and I delivered it really calmly. Didn't feel upset or wound up about it. So just all our interactions now are easier. Most of the time when we're in relation with other people, we don't realize that we're creating them, we're creating our experience of them, our feelings are coming from our thinking about them, not from them. And when we start to realize that, the whole illusion of, oh, this person's making me feel terrible, starts to melt away. And we can have a truly different experience of life as a result of that. So, love. Well, because love is who we really are, as our thinking starts to fall away, we naturally fall into this place of love on a more regular basis. It becomes more of us being who we really are. We are made of love. We are love. And it's only our thinking that stops us seeing that. So if you imagine that people are all walking around with their thinking, if my fingers are the thinking, and underneath the palm is the palm is the heart, is the love. And as the thinking starts to look less real, feel less serious, look like it's a story more, then that falls away. And underneath that, we're just naturally connected, that we don't need to do anything. We don't need to learn to love more or learn to even love ourselves more, because underneath thought, we are love. That's what we are. That's what we're made of. So there's not so much to do as it might look, as you look out into the world and people are telling us how to love more, or how to love ourselves more, or how to have better relationships. And the other thing that I think I've noticed is that a lot of the time when we're trying to help a relationship be better in some way, or being helped, there's a lot of focus on trying to work out our problems. And I think, like, Bruce and I don't spend that much time on our problems. We spend time having a nice time together, laughing together and being silly together. And even like we've got this silly thing now where if we start to like disagree a little bit, we just start talking in this gobbledygook language with odd words in it of English, and then we both just start laughing and the whole thing's over. So we do like cross talking in this ridiculous. I'll do a bit for you, like and like use the intonation, but we don't use the words. And so suddenly the whole thing's just a whole joke, and the thing that we thought we had a problem with has disappeared. Your ability to connect to another person is infinite and amazing and can be just joyous all the time, as soon as you realize that they're not making you feel anything, and that's just not how it works. So today, 7 years with a lovely, lovely man who appears to have got lovelier and lovelier over the last 2.5 years. But I suspect that's not what's happened. I suspect my thinking about him and my relationship has changed. And I guess I want to finish by just saying and just reminding you that you are love. And underneath all that thinking that we all have some of the time, it is love. And that is always, always available to you. You just need to keep looking in that direction. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.